What's going on guys, it's Filthy and I'm back with another video. Today we're looking at Season 18 Starter Guide for the Wizard. Now Season 18 starts on the 23rd of August and it's going to be the Season of Triune, so we're going to get bespoke power rings on the ground, so we're either going to get double damage, we're going to get significantly reduced cooldown, or we're going to get half resource cost reduction. All those things are great for the Wizard, and when I rank the classes in terms of the fastest start I put Wizard at number 1. I'm going to show you why I think that's the case. It was really strong last season. I think it's going to be even better this season, particularly for speeding and particularly for solo play. Now DMO actually I think is quite a poor starting set. The 2 and 4 piece aren't great. We're going to have a chat about the set. I'm going to show you a perma Archon build that you can set up and bypass the season journey if you want. We're going to talk some traditional DMO options if you would prefer to do the season journey. I'm going to look at leveling 1 to 70 as fast as possible and trying to make you as strong as possible at 70 as we can. Now before we get into it and go through everything, I just want to welcome everybody who's new to the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and a thumbs up is always appreciated on a video. So in terms of Season 18, we're going to get the DMO set out of our Hadrig's bag, so if you do complete the season journey, this is what you're going to get. Now the 2 piece reduces the cooldown and slow time by 3 seconds when you use various abilities. The 4 piece gives you a 60% damage reduction provided you have a slow time bubble active somewhere on the map, and then the 6 piece will give you an 8,500% damage increase to a various amount of skills provided enemies have been touched by the bubble. Now I don't really think the bubble's great, so the idea is you pop it down here and its main effect is kind of like Neo from the Matrix. So what it will do is you will invoke a bubble that's warped time and space, and the idea is that it slows projectiles by 90%, it reduces movement speed of the enemy, and it reduces their attack speed. So it's very much a defensive skill, so you don't actually really get any damage from it. Now if you look at the runes, they're not particularly great. You can increase the move speed reduction and cut the cooldown down to 12 seconds, not particularly great. Exhaustion will give you 25% damage reduction for enemies that are in the slow time bubble. Again, it's defensive. Time warp, this is probably decent. You get a 15% damage buff because enemies will take more damage in the bubble. Again, it's pretty slender. Point of no return, this is a stun, so again it's more of a defensive option. And then stretch time, 10% attack speed. So really, rune wise, you've only got 2 that actually cause any damage, and it's 15% damage increase or a 10% damage reduction. Now obviously, once you get your 6 piece DMO up, that's not too much of a problem. 8,500%, particularly supporting items, will hit like a truck, but until you get there, it's not particularly great. So that's why we're going to look at bypassing it. Now, before we get into 17, what to do with the set and the Hadrigs, we probably need to start at level 1. Now the most important thing that you need to do in any season is to log on, make your seasonal character, and then go and do your challenge rift. This will give you a challenge rift bag, and inside it will be loads of goodies, including DBs, bounty mats, blood shards, and gold, and they're going to really help us cut down this leveling process 1 to 70 to the minimum time possible. So once you've done your challenge rift and you've got your bag, you can open it and get your goodies. Then what you want to do is speak to a vendor and buy a couple of pieces of gear just for really cheap gold. You then want to take your follower's weapon, which will give you a nice power buff, and on master difficulty you want to go and kill either Magda or Zoltan Cool. So you're looking to load up a game, go to Act 2, and if either of them are the boss, so Zoltan Cool or Magda, so it hasn't spawned on either of these, so I'd quit the game and restart it. Once you do that, once you've killed them, you'll get another box full of goodies, a diabolic horde, and that'll give you some gear. You then want to quit the game and drop it to normal difficulty, because the next thing you're going to do is go to the Act 3, Ruins of Sescheron, and you're going to go and get the cube. Now once you've got the cube, you can then go over to the vendor in town who makes weapons. You're going to craft yourself a wand, so a level 70 wand. So you'll have to obviously rank them up, but don't worry, you'll have the materials to do that. Now when you craft it, you're going to have to check it very carefully to see whether it's got reduced level requirement. This one hasn't, so that's fine. If it did roll with significant level reduced requirement, you keep it, but other than that, you're going to take it to the cube and you're going to go to recipe 3, upgrade rare item. You're going to pop your wand in and it's going to give you a legendary wand. Now in terms of whether this is worth it, guys, I think that it is, because in the loot pool there are 10 wands and I'd say there are going to be 3 that are going to carry multipliers. Now obviously the one that we got was the Fragment of Destiny, and this offers a increased attack speed to Spectral Blade as well as a multiplier, so that's really nice. You can also get the Wand of Woe, which will buff Explosive Blast, so it'll give you more damage and more blasts, which is really nice. But the one that you would really hope to get would be an Unstable Scepter, because this will buff Arcane Orb, and it is really nice. Now you can also get a Chantodo. That would be particularly good for when we get to 70, and I'll show you that little build that I was talking about. So any of those four I think are really good, and then the other options, there's a few okay ones in there, and there's two that are completely useless. So I personally think it's worth a gamble. 1 in 3 chance for a pretty decent multiplier, plus up to 40% if you include Chantodos as being acceptable. So I think it's worth the gamble, but you can obviously save your mats if you want. Now again, you need to check your wand for reduced level requirement. This one hasn't rolled it, so that would be fine. You would then extract this power into the cube. So you would go again to the recipes, recipe 1, you'd pop it in, fill it up with your goodie bags worth of gear and transmute, and it will extract the power for you, and then you'll be able to put it on your character and have a multiplier the whole way. Now obviously if you do get bad luck, there's not much you can do, you just have to press on to the next step. Now as you're leveling, you will have mats to craft weapons, so that's the only thing I'd ever consider crafting. So you're going to want to concentrate on two-handers as you go, so two-handed axes really I'd say would probably be your best bet, and these obviously as you go through level 16, 21, 29. Now before you set off on level, I would probably roll a level 70 two-handed axe, because we're going to use our mats to roll reduced level requirement. Now this one's fine, it's got a secondary on there that's got crowd control, so the 4.3% chance to fear means that we can roll off the experience, and that will hopefully give us reduced level requirement. So you'll come over to the Mystic, you'll rank her up again to max, which you'll have the resources to do. You can select the experience, and when you click on it you'll see that we've only got plus experience, ignores durability, loss, or we've got reduced level requirement. So the loot pool's only got 3, so we're going to hit this and we're going to re-roll this. Now obviously you're going to do this a few times because it can roll as up to 70, up to 30 sorry, as the max reduction. So you'll take a few goes at it. Anything over 20 I think is really good, so there you go, 25. So that would be pretty lucky for me. So I'd know that once I get to level 45, then I'm going to be able to equip this weapon, and it's a huge damage increase, obviously from a level 1 character. So I don't want to salvage this, so to stop myself from doing that, I'm going to put a transmog on it. So I'm going to stick it in, and then I'm just going to pick anything for cheap 500 gold, and then I would go and stick that in my stash, and then I'd know at level 45 come back and get it. Now obviously as I said, if you did get lucky to get reduced level requirement one of the ones, you might not want to extract it into the cube, you'll obviously just have to play that by ear. But that's pretty much the main step you do before you set off. So guys, once you've got your two-hander in your stash and you know what level you're going to come back to, then basically you're going to do the Halls of Agony level 2 and 3 until you can get some rings with plus damage on at level 8, and then you're going to get an amulet with plus damage on about level 11. You'll then keep coming back to the blacksmith every now and then to upgrade your two-handers, but pretty much that will do you until it comes time to spend your blood shards. I'm going to do that at level 33, and the reason for that is because the etched sigil will be in the loot pool at this point. Now, there's only two sources, there's this one and the Winter Flurry. Now this will give you a 62% chance of getting it, so I'll put up a little graphic that we've made in terms of the probability, because there's a 5% chance of getting this every time you roll for it at Kadala. So 1 in 10 items will be legendary, and you've got 2 choices, so it's 5% each time, so as I say 62%. And this will give you a really nice multiplier, it'll over double your arcane spenders and give you 1 for free. So it is really nice and it is really useful, and it's probably the best thing I think in the wizard loot pool. Now once you've got your two-hander with the reduced level requirement, you'll fly to 70 very quickly because you'll be able to jack up the difficulty quite a lot. Now once we get to 70, the first thing we're going to do is craft a Sage's set. Now in theory the blacksmith learns these as soon as you get him to rank 12, so you might be worthwhile doing this at level 1 actually to get reduced level requirement, because obviously it can roll on any of the pieces, so if you get lucky you might get something nice to wear as you're leveling. But either way, it's going to be a damage increase and a toughness increase because of the stats on the 2-piece, but you're also going to get double DBs. That's going to be huge because it's going to allow you to upgrade more items in the cube, and it's also going to give you more rerolls, and that's straight away from level 70. Now also at level 70, option wise, you can go and kill Malthael and get the plans for Reaper's Wraps, so that will go in your Bracer slot, so that's very easy to get, and again it's going to be legendary, it's going to have stats on. And you can also do a Nephilim Rift and get yourself a Bane of the Powerful, which will give you a 20% damage increase once you kill an elite. Now I'm kind of hoping Blizz change it so that the Legacy of Dreams gem is the first one that drops, but we'll have to wait and see, but you know, that's another option. Now really, what I would be doing as soon as I get to 70 and I've got my Sages on, I'm just going to do Rifts, because I'm going to want to get a Chantodo's Will as soon as possible. Because once you get this set complete, it is absolutely super easy mode. It's definitely very important, and I'll show you how to get permanent Archon pretty quickly. Now DBs are going to be spent on the wand, and you're going to roll shards for your source. Now whilst you're looking for your Chantodos, you might actually get one of these other ones that we talked about with multipliers on. Now what you're looking to do is to make a combo, so either Unstable Scepter and the Triumvirate, or the Wand of Woe and the Orb of Infinite Depth, because they both buff the same skill. So Arcane Orb for this one, and Explosive Blast for these two. Now you can also get Talrash's offhand, and you can get a Firebird's offhand. I'd hang on to them because what we're going to do once we've got the Chantodo's Force is we're going to swap our Blood Shard rolling to Shoulders, and we'll come back to that in a minute, and I'll show you why. Now once you've hit your Chantodos, you then want to go for two-handed axes in the cube and upgrade them, because you're going to want to get yourself a Messerschmitt's Reaver, and what this will do is it will reduce the cooldown of your abilities by 1 second when you kill an enemy. Now once you've got your Chantodos and you've got your Messerschmitts, then Archon becomes super easy mode. So if we have a look at Archon, it's obviously on a huge cooldown, and this is why the Reaver is so important. So the cooldown is 120 seconds, and basically you just get more damage and more toughness, and it ramps up because the damage gets higher and higher with each enemy you kill. Now what you can do is you can take pure power straight off the gate, and this will give you a 20-second reduction in Archon cooldown, so you're at 100 seconds now. And then if in your passives you take Evocation, you'll get 20% cooldown reduction. So with the diamond in your helm, cooldown rolled on your gloves, and also a Leoric's crown in the cube, you will be pretty stocked on cooldown. You'll be about 40%, so that means you only have to kill about 50 enemies to get back into Perma Archon, because by the time you've stacked yourself back up to 20 on your Chantodos, you can then pop Archon again and off you go. Now the Reaver will funnel everything into Archon because you've got no other skills on cooldown, so it really is just absolutely ridiculously easy to be in permanent Archon, and that will allow you to do Rifts very quickly, very easily. Now you're going to spend your shards on Shoulders because there are only 7 in the Wizard loot pool, and you're looking for Vyr pieces. And then what you're going to do is, once you've got multiple ones, you're going to go to the cube and go to Convert Set Item. You fill it up and you transmute it, and it'll give you a different Vyr's piece. So obviously once you get 2 Vyr Shoulders, you're going to go with that, and you're going to convert one, you're going to put Shoulders on, and then you're going to take off your Sage piece and craft another one if needs be. Or if I got lucky here, I'd have it on my shoulders and on my trousers. That would give me every rune on Archon, which is really strong. And then again, up to the 4-piece, you can get yourself a lot of attack speed and resistances. And you're basically going to use this trick to gear yourself into 6-piece Vyrs setup very quickly. So this is quite easy to do because there's only 4 two-handed axes in the pool, so the Reaver will pop out pretty quickly. The wand obviously can be a little fiddly to get, but I do think it's a pretty quick way if you don't want to be bothered doing your season journey. Now obviously if you want to go traditional season journey route, just do it. It's the same strategy. You're going to be upgrading wands because you're looking for really the unstable scepter, and you're going to pair again anything you get with another multiplier, and GR20 will be a bit of a doddle, and you'll get through that pretty easily. Now once you do get your full 6 pieces of DMO, again you're going to look for the unstable scepter and triumvirate because you want to do frozen orb. Now really guys, Vyrs is just so much stronger than this that I would be recommending that you go for Vyrs, so I wouldn't really be wanting to put mats or resources into trying to make DMO better. I'd probably just go straight for Vyrs and with the Messerschmitt's Reaver because it's just going to be so powerful. Now I'm just going to show you very quickly a rift. So I've taken all of my Paragon off, so I've got no Paragon. I've got pretty crappy gear other than the Chantodo set, so the Sage's set would be craftable, so I'd have the belt on. You know, I've left an ancient pair of braces because the Reaper's wraps are really easy to get, but the rest of this stuff is crap. Now I've given myself the Zodiac ring and the Ingium just to kind of give you a replication of how it would work, because the Reaver would be stronger than both of these two things really, because as you go you're going to kill things. The Oryx Crown, as we said, gettable at level 1, so that's quite easy, and then the ring slot I've just blocked off, so the Rogue's not giving me any benefit. And we'll just do a rift and I'll show you how easy it is. So that'll be it, guys. The GR20 would be really easy. Obviously if you had 2 Vyrs pieces it would be even quicker, because you could teleport and you'd be speed farming very quickly. I think that would probably be my preferred option to gear into it, but as I say, if you want to do the season journey you absolutely can. Now in terms of Vyrs, you're going to want to gear it up anyway, so you're going to use that trick to roll shoulders and convert set item, and you're just going to do that as soon as you get 6 sets of Vyrs shoulders. Obviously you can find Vyr pieces as you go anyway, and you're going to use the Reaver to basically get through the cooldown. So you're not going to need the Zodiac, you're not going to need cooldown absolutely everywhere. It's just going to be really easy to just get the pieces and off you go. Now obviously in the season you'll be able to get the Captain Crimson's plans, which is a belt and trousers you could go, so getting a ring of Royal Grandeur will be very important because you're going to want to mix your sets. You're also potentially going to get a Squirt's necklace, which will give you up to double damage, so again that's another really useful new item that you get. So Vyrs I think is going to be really strong, and you want to just get off DMO as quickly as possible. So that's all the tips I've got for Wizard. I do think it is going to be the strongest class. I think with a little bit of fair wind and RNG you'll be clearing very high content very quickly. So if anybody does have anything to add, any more tips or tricks or anything they think's relevant, then by all means stick it in the comments and get a bit of a discussion going. People do read them, and it is important for new players to help with these types of builds. So guys, I'll see you in Sanctuary. I wish you all the best for Season 18 and I hope RNGesus is kind to you. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.